welcome back. I'm on vacation, but the reviews never stop, even on vacation, so I'm at my cousin's layout to review the Broadway Limited 210-2 steam locomotive. This is a 3800 class modernized steam locomotive. It's equipped with DC, DCC, and Broadway Limited's own Paragon 2 sound system. It MSRPs for $399.99. So let's take a look at what Broadway Limited offers us in this 210-2 modernized steam locomotive. Let's get started. Alright guys, now it's time to go ahead and unbox this locomotive. It comes in the standard Paragon 2 box, the nice glossy finish. It's Broadway Limited's nice red box. And sometimes these boxes are a little tough to get open, but as always I want to unbox this item for the first time in front of you. So that's what we'll do. Oh, took some foam with me. The foam was there. We got some paperwork to go over. Paragon 2 Owner's Manual. Now this is a 27-page manual with all the functions, configuration variables, what all the sounds do. We'll go over all that later. DCC operation, factory resets, consisting, you know, all the jazz that's in here. Talks about the articulated engines. Obviously, factory default addresses 3. It mentions that. We've got an exploded parts diagram. 210-2 being the locomotive. This is good to see how to disassemble the locomotive if you're having some problems, identify parts that you may need to order, etc., etc. And lastly, one real cool thing about Broadway Limited locomotives that you don't see from a lot of manufacturers is you have a 1-year warranty, but by registering online it automatically turns it to a 2-year warranty. So for 2 solid years from the date of purchase, you're going to be able to have this locomotive covered for repairs. You just fill out some simple information and send it off. If you do it online, obviously it's a 2-year. If you do it snail mail, it's 1 year. And you have the locomotive itself, the star of the show. Let's go with the side pockets first. You got a little gel pack silica that keeps it moisture out. You've got several different smokestacks in here because there's smokestacks, different smokestacks that you can put on the locomotive. And then you have some traction tires and a hex nut key or a little wrench so you can actually put different wheel sets on or fix the traction tires. But the star of the show is the locomotives. They come wrapped in plastic. Here's the locomotive. We'll go over some detail in a moment. And then you have the tender. It's the last of the contents of the box. As you see, tender has a plug. Just plug that up to the locomotive. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead and cover some detail. Starting with some detail up at the front, you've got the classification lights, which are not lit, but they have a nice prism effect that catches lighting. You've got the smoke box door with the rivet detail all the way around. You see the hatches around. You've got the headlight here, which is an LED headlight. The grab irons, which are nice and sturdy. You've got the coupler cut lever up front, along with the ladders running up each side. Now this is a plastic body on a die-cast chassis, so that's the locomotive's composure. But as we work our way down, you've got KD compatible couplers. They're metal couplers. They're nice, durable couplers. You've got the cow catcher with nice detail up front. And now we're going to swing around the side for some more detail. As we look at the detail along the side, you see some really cool things that Broadway Limited incorporated. You've got obviously the flying number boards, which is accurate for the prototype, the regular smokestack, nothing special there. But look at all this detail. You've got the builder's plate. You've got all the valve gear detail along the side rods. You've got the domes here with 3851 printed along the side there, and nice lettering. As we move the locomotive forward, you can see a lot of the other detail. You've got the dynamo here that powers all of the like the headlight and things on the locomotive. You've got all the valve detail, the handrails here along the side. Just really nicely done. You've got the trailing trucks, all the drivers. Just a real nice detailed job on this locomotive. Working to the back of the locomotive, you see the cab figures. There's 2 cab figures in here. A lot of times you don't see cab figures installed. You've got those ghost trains running on your layout. But Broadway Limited installed fully painted cab figures. You've got several different paints on these cab figures. The face, the hat, the hair, and the body of the cab figure are all different colors. You see the rivet detail along the cab, the handrails, which are metal back here for the cab crew to get up into the cab. You've got the adjustable vent up top. This right here allows for the cab to vent, all the rivet detail up top, and then the trailing trucks back here. We're going to go ahead and flip this locomotive around because there's a detail I want to show you we don't really see on locomotives, especially plastic. I want to give you a full 360-degree view of this locomotive, but as we move it back, and you can see the other side, you got the builder's plate again, several things we've already mentioned. The bell up top here, just out of sight, right there, is nicely done. It's got a nice metallic finish to it. Working our way back though, one thing you don't see on locomotives very often is the whistle cord. So here is a cord running from the whistle that's right here to the locomotive into the cab so that it can be blown, and that is something you don't see too often. That's this cord right here. So real nice detail job by Broadway Limited. It always amazes me what they can do and then offer some of the industry's lowest MSRPs on items. So very impressed with that. One last look of the locomotive itself is into the back head detail. You can see that they didn't just stop on the external portions of the locomotive, on the internal portions as well. They provided detail into this area, all the workings of the back head. And then you've got the little adjustable flap here. This is a plate that links the locomotive to the tender so that the crews can work back and forth. You've got the actual bar here, the drawbar, which has two settings, two holes. You can have it closely ran together for those larger radius curves or further apart for the tighter radius curves. Minimum radius curve on this is 22, and it does operate on code 70, 83, and 100 rail, so you're good to go there. And then you've got the pins under this plate here where you connect the pins to the harness on the actual tender to get the connection. So that is it for the locomotive. Let's take a nice quick look at the tender and then move on to operation. So let's take a quick look at this tender here. The first thing that pops out to me is all of the rivet detail on this tender. Santa Fe 3851 with a nice metallic print along the side, nice handrails up top. You've got a coupler cut lever on the back. You have the 3851 on the back. It looks a little strange, but it's because that ladder is in front of it. And then you've got the rear safety marker light on the back. So real nice detail on this locomotive and tender. Pretty good job by Broadway Limited. I think it's really nicely done. Again, same thing with the tender, plastic body, die cast metal frame. So you've got some weight there, and we'll get into weight and pull test here in a bit. So we're about to weigh this locomotive here. So I'll press it down on the scale here, and we have 14.8 ounces. Now, if you add the tender, you have a total of 1 pound, 4.7 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and change the mode so you can see some other settings. That's 1.29 pounds, 0.586 kilograms, and 586 grams. So there you have the weight. That's a pretty good weight for such a small locomotive. I say small because it's shorter than what you'd expect in a 210-2, and that's not anything except for the prototype was short, so it's not like Broadway Limited intentionally shortened it. They were accurate for the prototype. It's just a short locomotive. But 1 pound, 4.7 ounces is pretty good for the locomotive, and we'll check out the pulling power after operation. Alright, we're going to go ahead and listen to the bell now. Now the whistle. This is the factory default whistle. So that's the factory default. Now I can change some things, and you can hear the other two whistles real quick. Okay, here's the whistle, one of the selectable whistles. Here's another selectable whistle. So those are the three whistles you can have in the steam locomotive. Let's go ahead and go over some other functions. real quick. F3 is the coupler, which I believe only really makes the noise when you move. You've got F4 is the air pump. F5 is blowdown. F6 is water fill, which would go along great. That was still the blowdown there, but here's the water fill. Go great with the new Broadway Limited water tower. F7 handles smoke, and I believe smoke is already on, but we'll check that when it moves because it really only smokes with the synchronized puffing smoke when it moves. F8 handles the mute, so that shuts everything off. F9, like I mentioned before, is the start up and shut down of the steam locomotive. F10, shoveling coal. I mean, there's lots of sounds. There's freight sounds all the way up to F28, so they really cover a lot of functions. So that covers some of the sounds. Unfortunately, we're only limited to 12 functions in my cousin's controller. I'm going to go ahead and silence this now, and we'll talk about a couple other things here on the function of this and move into operation. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and test the speed steps of this locomotive. I'm going to go slowly, starting at 1 here. See the synchronized puffing smoke, you hear the Paragon 2 chuffs. Move forward to 2 speed steps. 3 speed steps. 4 speed steps. And 5 speed steps. So that's low speed. I'll go ahead and switch directions now. Hear the locomotive switch into reverse. 1 speed step. 2. 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go ahead and stop the locomotive, and that is the operation in both forward and reverse slow. I think we've covered several things, not perfect in covering everything, but we'll go ahead and wrap this review up. Got a little ahead of myself. Before we wrap this review up, one thing I want to do is a pull test. So I've tared this out to 0.0 ounces, and we're going to go ahead and see what this can pull. We're going to go ahead and throttle it way up here. And it is spitting out at 4.5. We're going up here. 6, 7, let's see. Keeps moving. There we go. Go ahead and bring her down. And I did take off the volume so you could hear me, but we have here 7.2 ounces is the max pull on this locomotive. Really well for a steam locomotive, really well for any locomotive, so that should pull quite a good range of things. Now, for comparison, you'd have to look at some of my other reviews on steam locomotives to see what it compares to with competitors' pull tests, but 7.2 ounces is on the higher end of what I've seen on steam locomotives, or any locomotive for that matter, so it's got a really good pulling power, and it's got the traction tire on the very back set of drivers right here. So that traction tire there pretty much indicates that it's going to have some pretty good pull with the traction tire on that back driver, because a lot of the weight of the locomotive is almost center at this point, so there should be some pretty good pull back there. Alright guys, let's wrap this review up. Well, that wraps up our review of the Broadway Limited 210-2 steam locomotive. That was a modernized steam locomotive, the cab number 3851, MSRP of $399.99, again with great detail packed in that MSRP. Not to mention, if you're looking around online retailers such as trainworld.com, the last time I checked their website, $275. So when you're in the high twos or low threes on a steam locomotive with something like sound, DCC, DC dual functionality, the synchronized puffing smoke, the attention to detail like the whistle cord and the cab figures that are painted so nicely, you're coming into something that's a rare gem. Something that is both budget friendly and nicely detailed, sounds great, and operates great. You saw it operating under slow and quick speeds. I'm pretty impressed. Minimum operating radius, again, is 22 inches, so be sure to meet that operating radius. You've got a couple different settings on the drawbar. You're going to want it further set apart if you're running on a 22-inch radius or something close to that. Overall, guys, I'm really impressed with this locomotive. It's something that you don't see too often with all that packed into the value. And we will see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.